We're going to have a presentation by our Library Board Chairman. Tell us what's up with the library. You're first on the agenda for this evening. Dave?
Thank you. Well, thank you, Mayor Belmont and members of the council. I appreciate the chance to speak with you a little bit and bring you up to date on what's been going on at the library. As you know, we've accomplished quite a lot in the last couple of years. And is that a little better? In that period of time, of course, a lot of people deserve a lot of thanks, and not the least of which are you guys sitting up here, because without your support, that never would have happened. The community reaction has been extremely positive, I have to say. The new facilities, the technology, the light that floods the building, the huge children's area, the new teen area, all the meeting rooms, you name it, they've all sparked a lot of very, very positive comment from the press and from the patrons. And the patrons, of course, are what this is all about, because the number of people using the Harrison Library has gone through the roof. We've got a few numbers that I'm going to go through now, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we've got coming up in the future. But, you know, the facility is one thing, but it's what happens in the building that brings people there. So one of the main goals we had when we designed the new facility was to increase the number of spaces where we could hold programs of varying size for varying size audiences, and where people could study and use a library in different ways. That has paid off very well. As you may know, we've expanded not just our children's programming, which covers everything from reading to music to exercise to crafts and games and things of that nature, but also a big, big expansion of our adult programming, which we felt was something that the library really needed to grow. Here's a couple of numbers to keep in mind. In January of 2014, of course the library was closed in 2015, we presented 64 programs in the Halperin building and had about 900 people come to them, of all kinds, adults and children. In January of this year, just 4 months after the new facility opened, we were able to offer 135 programs, more than double what we did last year, and we attracted more than double the number of people. Almost 2,000 people attended programs in the library in the month of January alone. Now, juvenile attendance was up. Now, that was to be expected. The kids are our primary customers. Families with young children tend to be the primary users of the library. And the number of juveniles attending the programs in the doubled children's space doubled. But what was even more encouraging is that the number of adults attending programs at the library tripled over the same period in January of last year. And that to us was very encouraging, because it meant that the plan that we had put in place, we're starting to see some results from it. Now, library usage as in overall is way up too. We didn't have a real people counter in the old facility, so we don't really have numbers, so we have to do apples to apples comparisons. But our new people counter shows us that over 200 people a day are using the Halperin building. We suspect, if you look at the parking lot, that that's way up over previous usage levels. And I'm going to talk about parking a little bit later. But now, one metric, though, we can check, and we can do very close checks with, is the wireless internet usage. And as you know, internet usage is a big, important part of what the library does. In the last 5 months since the new library opened, this is October of 2015 through January of this year, there were 6,466 internet connections made wirelessly at the library. This isn't counting the internet usage on the wired computers at the library. In that same period 2 years ago, there were 2,915 connections, so internet usage more than doubled over the same period in the last time we had numbers. Now, this is great, except that what's the future hold for us? Probably the most heartening figure that I've seen so far is that we've issued more than 1,100 new library cards since the facility opened last September. That's a huge number if you think about it. That means most of our patrons, it is one card per family. So we've really attracted 1,000 new families to use the Harrison Library. That bodes very, very well for us in the future. I'd like to add, too, that staff reaction has been very positive. The folks worked really hard to put the new facility in use, and Galena worked with them very closely. You know, one of the biggest assets the library has is our library director, Galena Chernick, and we'd like to thank her for her hard work in putting this thing together, too, and making it work hard. We've conducted some customer service training. You walk into the library today, you're going to find an eager, friendly staff that's happy to have you there and look forward to helping you. They're wearing name tags, they're smiling, they are happy librarians, which isn't something that perhaps we had in the past. Now, in the unfinished business department, because the library opened in September, but we've been working on it ever since, and we've got more work yet to be done. As you know, the tax cap limits our ability to fully capitalize on the new facility. We're dealing with a budget set to handle the kind of traffic and usage that we had in the old building. We were planning to use our library fund balance, which we've accumulated over the last couple of years, to help pay for part of the renovation and the service enhancements, the technology and the programming. We're revising our plan now, since we use some of those funds to pay for the slight overrun in the construction of the project. And we will have a plan to use the existing library fund balance that we'll present when it's finished, now that we're regrouping. In West Harrison, we've spent so much time talking about and celebrating the things going on in the Halperin building. Sometimes we forget that the West Harrison branch is a very important part of our system as well. As you know, in the last few years, we've undergone a lot of work there. We replaced the roof, we replaced the heating and air conditioning systems. We have upgraded the computers there. We are in the process of rebidding the current project, which you approved in the capital budget, to paint and recarpet the West Harrison branch. It came in substantially higher than we'd expected, so we're reworking that. Hope to have some news on that finished by the end of this month. We're also planning to install new furnishings, computers, and other equipment in the West Harrison branch as part of our plan for the fund balance. And this is important because attendance and usage in the West Harrison branch is up as well as at in the Halperin building. We've issued more than 100 new cards in West Harrison in the last 5 months. Program attendance is up 65% in January to a total of 565 people in West Harrison, and we don't have a place to have programs in West Harrison. That's probably our biggest drawback there, is the space itself is constrictive. So we're working on a plan for that. The Halperin building, unfinished business there. We are concerned about the roof. We are going to pursue some state funding we think may be available. We'll see the library construction grant funding. We're going to apply for that as well this year. We're concerned about the continued problem with moisture in the basement at the Halperin building, but we're working on that with Fred's assistance. Parking is our biggest problem right now. The parking lot is full. It's full all the time. It's full till 9 o'clock at night. It's full on court days, even though we have a volunteer that helps direct traffic that is not going to the library out of the library parking lot. The lot is too small. So we're going to study the problem, see if we can come up with some suggested solutions, and get back to you with a proposal actually fairly quickly. That's a big item on our agenda. Last but not least, the renovation, gave us some real momentum. So we're working to build on that, some things that are going on. In November, the library board held a strategic retreat off campus. We got together with an outside facilitator and a speaker, and Galena joined us. And we spent several hours assessing what we have now, what we've accomplished, and what we hope to do in the future. We identified 6 very important market segments in Harrison that we believe we need to concentrate on serving. And we set tangible goals for each one of them for the library to serve. And I'll be happy to share that with you at some future time. All of these things take money. The Harrison Public Library Foundation just elected a new board and a new president. That happens to be me at the moment as well. I'll be stepping down as library board president next month. I term limit out. We hope that the foundation will work even more closely with the library, with the staff, with the Friends of the Harrison Public Library, and with a long-term strategic plan in place, we'll be able to make the foundation a significant source of library funding for operations. We're also actively recruiting volunteers to work at the library to help us on projects and on ongoing programs. The volunteers have stepped forth, and they've been a big part of what we've done so far, and now we hope to double the number that are working with us, and there are several of them waiting at the library now as we speak. As soon as I'm finished here, Galena and I are going over there to meet with them. So that's my report on the wonderful things that are happening at the Harrison Public Library. Again, I thank you for your support and be happy to entertain any questions.
Great. Thank you. Great job. Thank you. Great job.